Welcome back. President Donald Trump wants the Supreme Court to allow him to fire the head of a federal agency that protects whistleblowers. Trump tried to fire the leader of the Office of Special Counsel, Hampton Dellinger. Dellinger argued Trump does not have the power to do so, and a judge temporarily blocked that move. So now Trump wants the Supreme Court to back him. CBS News Justice Department reporter Jake Rosen joins us at this hour. Jake, thank you for joining us again. What is the Office of Special Counsel? Can you walk us through what they do and what will happen if Trump gets his way here?
Yeah, this Office of Special Counsel is not related to any kind of investigations, but what they do is career independent agency attorneys protect whistleblowers, they enforce the Hatch Act, and they make sure that the firings that the Trump administration is trying to do right now are done legally and only after employees have had representation and are not just fired en masse. What Trump wants to do in this instance is remove, because he believes this person cannot be loyal to him or work on behalf of the administration, remove him from a post that was approved by Congress after President Biden nominated him 2 years ago, and put in someone else. Now, obviously, this is a big expansion of presidential power, executive power, and Trump has already removed other people from their independent jobs as well. So this case, if the Supreme Court does either take the case up or side with him in some way, would open him up to not just firing employees of the federal government themselves, but of these independent agencies that work alongside the government, like this group, which is basically just a watchdog group across all of the government.
And Jake, we are also watching a hearing today in a case challenging the authority of Elon Musk and his Department of Efficiency. What do we know so far about that?
Yeah, that hearing wrapped about an hour ago. Judge Tanya Chutkin, who got the ire of a lot of Trump supporters after she took up and was handed the case investigating Donald Trump after his handling of January 6th and the 2020 election aftermath. She heard a case today presented by a bunch of states, including New Mexico, who's the principal state suing in this case against Elon Musk and Doge. The states claim that Elon Musk's role in the government right now is unconstitutional and that the actions of Doge in accessing people's data, their mass firings, are all unconstitutional. Now, this hearing was just to put a temporary pause on what Elon Musk is doing, and it seemed like the judge was not necessarily sympathetic to the states. She said that the plaintiffs had not given her concrete evidence that there was immediate harm to these states, and that she deferred to potentially other lawsuits, of which there are over 70 right now, as maybe better means to potentially test the limits of what Elon Musk is doing right now. We'll have to wait. She said she would have her order in the next day or so.
Okay. And Jake, I also want to talk about what's happening in New York City, because we know federal prosecutors, they went ahead and they dropped those charges against New York City Mayor Eric Adams, and that has clearly led to walkouts and resignations in response. What else are we learning about the fallout here?
Well, Eric Adams said twice yesterday that he felt like he was on a mission from God and he was not going to resign no matter what the pressures from either inside his administration or inside the state of New York or from elsewhere, including people here in Washington, D.C., claiming that they see some kind of conflict of interest or quid pro quo, which Adams and the Department of Justice deny. However, it's clear that there's certainly pressure within the Department of Justice and breaking precedent in this case, with over 7 people at least resigning last week in the Department of Justice as a result of this in terms of the federal government. But then also we've seen some walkouts and calls for resignation, or calls for potentially New York Governor Kathy Hochul to get involved and see if she can use her gubernatorial power to remove Eric Adams from his post for all of this. So we'll have to see the fallout over the next couple of weeks, but it seems like Eric Adams is staying in the race, going to run, at least he said on Friday, going to continue running for mayor going through November. And remember, that's the critical deadline for this dropping of the charges. The Southern District of New York, whoever that is in December or in November after the election, can decide whether they feel like Adams has been working with the administration enough and either drop these charges permanently or bring them back if the administration and an attorney feels like Eric Adams has not fully cooperated with the Trump administration.
And we'll see what happens come November. CBS News Department of Justice reporter Jake Rosen, thank you again for joining us today.